This episode of the Outline Podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering the listeners of this show one free audiobook and a 30-day free trial. You can redeem this by simply clicking the link in the show notes or visiting www.audible.com/outlinepod. Let's start the show.
The Outline with Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne. The Outline. With Kevin Dwayne. The Outline. With Kevin Dwayne. This is the Outline with Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne with Kevin Dwayne.
Yo, what's going on? This is the Outline Podcast, your weekly discussion of all things pop culture, LGBT culture, and a piece of encouragement for everyone. I am your host, Kevin Dwayne. Thank you so much for listening to yet another episode of the Outline Podcast. You guys are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the reviews, the comments. Thank you all for sharing the show every week. I see you, and I truly appreciate all the love that you guys show me week after week. And I actually enjoy doing this, so it makes it that much more fun. And also, more to come very, very, very soon. So for all of you who have been there, there'll be more content, even more fun. So yeah, hope you're having a great week. Hope everything is going your way. Hope you're staying dry, because I know a storm is coming to people on the East Coast, Hurricane Florence. And I feel like the timing of this is the same every year. And the reason I know this is because I've been doing this event. And the week before the event, it's always a crazy ass hurricane or storm where I'm stuck in the house. But, you know, whatever. I'm still gonna get that bag and work it out. But anywho, let's get into some of these hot topics. All right, because it's a lot. Like, I swear, there's some weeks where I'm like, what the fuck am I going to talk about? And then there's other weeks where you're just like, shit, there's tons. Am I going to have enough time to talk about this shit? I had to actually create a list. Number one, shout out to John Stevens, aka John Legend, who is officially a legend. I'm reading this straight from Town and Country Mag because they wrote it perfectly and I don't have to explain it. But John Legend, who is 39 years old, he has more than lived up to his stage name. He now has an EGOT, which is an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. And he's the first African-American man and the youngest to get this honor. In addition to his 10 Grammy Awards, including his 2006 win for Best New Artist, Legend added an Oscar to his resume in 2015 for his song Glory, which was featured in the movie Selma, and a Tony in 2017 as a co-producer for the Broadway production of Jitney. His 2018 Emmy came after his work on Jesus Christ Superstar. He won for Outstanding Variety Special. Like, I am so happy for John, because one thing about John is one of those artists that kind of flies under the radar. Like, you know, the bread is long. You know that he's awarded, you know he's making music, but you also know he's not popping off like another artist. You know that that's not the same kind of career path that we always equate to success and that kind of relevancy of like being on the radio. John's not always on the radio. Granted, he'll put out a love song and it'll be on forever, because he had that song a couple years ago, More of You, was it? And it was on all the damn time. So he'll do that. He's very much like the low-key R&B artist. So it was really nice to be like, yeah, get your shit, John. Collect your successes. And I just think that's dope. Like, he literally broke record. And like, he's the 13th person to get this status. And he and Whoopi Goldberg are the only two African Americans with this acclaim. So that is just, that's dope, man. That's amazing. And I mean, just for the hell of it, his ass is still fat. John Legend got a fat ass, y'all. Like, I don't know if y'all peeped. I mean, but listen, ass is fat. Even his wife knows it's fat because she posted on her damn Instagram. I'm like, shout out to John and his awards and his EGOT and that fat ass. Like, so proud, so happy, super, super amazing. Next on the list, Black Girls Rock premiered on Saturday. I thought it was an amazing show on BET. And I feel like I'm not a part of the BET hate train. I've learned over the years, BET has gotten so much flack. Not only from people who love Fox News, but from other Black people. There's a lot of people who feel like BET, they call it EBT, and they call it ghetto, and they call it hood. But you know what? BET definitely tries. And I've always peeped game. BET definitely tries to give positive content. And Black Girls Rock is one of those things. Like, it's always well done, in my opinion. So this year, they honored quite a few people. They honored Naomi Campbell. They honored Mary J. Blige. They honored Lena Waithe, among others. I mean, Janet Jackson. I mean, there's that. Like, and it was a great show. And the best part of the night for me was the Aretha Franklin tribute. BET got it so right, in my opinion. I think it couldn't have been any more better. And I know, depending on what your taste in music is and what you look for, there are some people who are like, no, they should have did this, they should have had this, they should have did this. Well, in my opinion, they got it right. They had the right people up there singing, and those people sang the right songs. I don't have an actual list here to go over the actual songs, but I will go off of my head of what I remember. I do remember Fantasia murdered Rocksteady. I hope I'm right. Was it Rocksteady or was it Chain? Hold on. Nope. See, I'm fucking up already. I believe Fantasia did Chain of Fools. Yep, Chain of Fools. All right, cool. And then, because she opened up the show, but then at the end they had the other part of it. Then you had Jasmine Sullivan. She did I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, which perfect. Like, I was like, who chose this song? Did you choose it? Or someone chose it for you? Like, perfect. You hear me? Jasmine's voice was perfect for that damn song. Then you had Cynthia Rivio. I hope I'm saying her name right. She did Say a Little Prayer. Perfectly matched her tone of voice and all that shit. You had Stephanie Mills, who did, was it Daydreaming? Oh my God, I told y'all I fucked this up. All I know is the tribute was lit. It was amazing. You can see it on YouTube. Everybody did their thing. Yolanda Adams, Stephanie Mills, Cynthia Rivio, Fantasia, Jasmine Sullivan, Lettucey. Like, it was perfect. Everybody came and sang. They did not play with the people. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. Honorable mention, her. Her is amazing. She plays an instrument, she sings, she writes. She's a true artist, and she did a great job performing. Tamia looked great performing So Into You, and also she performed her new song, Leave It Smoking, off of her latest album, Passion Like Fire, which is currently on Apple Music and other places where you can listen to music. It's a decent album. I enjoy it. Tamia's consistent. Tamia has been consistent for the last 20 years. Tamia puts out albums that are always good. They always are sonically different while still being very consistent to her sound. And I always appreciate that. Like, she has a good ear, and she always gives you solid bodies of work. So shout out to Tamia. And yeah, Black Girls Rock was amazing. And you want to know what also was amazing? Motherfucking Insecure. Okay, this is a spoiler alert. I would recommend, if you have not watched Insecure, start pressing the little 15-second button on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, and then just click it until I'm not talking about it anymore so you don't hear any spoilers, okay? Because I need to talk about this. So this episode, which is high like, they go to Beachella, aka Coachella, and this episode is the best episode of the season so far. I said last episode was the best show of the season when she had the date with Nathan all day, Nansford all day. But this one came and murdered last week's episode. Like, this week's episode reminded me why I love this motherfucking show so goddamn much. It was so good. It was hilarious. It had the sex appeal, it had the drama, it had everything that we expect from Insecure. And they let us know, they being the writers and Issa and the showrunners, they let us know, like, nigga, we know what the fuck we're doing. Sit the fuck back and just enjoy this shit. Stop trying to control the narrative. We know what we are doing. So if you watched it, you know that Lawrence Hive is now back full effect. Lawrence is back. And remember, when we talked about this at the beginning of the season, I said the petition was crazy as fuck. I was like, in what show does a character not come back? And it's funny because they even beat me because I thought it was going to be in another season. I didn't even know Lawrence was going to be back mid this season. So even I was like, oh shit, sooner than I thought. I thought he would come back maybe season 4, season 5. But nope, season 3. He been gone 5 episodes, y'all. He been gone 5 episodes. Ain't even been that damn long. Look at you. But I love how well Issa and her team played this shit. They heard you. They knew what they were doing. They were like, okay, Lauren, say you ain't on the show. We gonna act like you ain't on the show, and we gonna let this play out. It's perfect because people got angry enough. They started being mad and shit like that. Okay. And there's people who, I've seen this on Twitter because y'all don't know how the entertainment industry works and how things are filmed. People are like, oh, well, it's because she got all that backlash and a Lawrence Hive lit her up, so they wouldn't added Lawrence to the show again. That's not how television works. Stupid motherfucker. The season wrapped long time ago. They knew this long time ago. Who the fuck? Y'all are so stupid. Like, how dumb can you be? Not like really. How logical? Like, is there any logic in there at all? They didn't just run and just throw him in some shows at the last goddamn minute. This was planned from the jump. It was already done. It was already in the can. They just went along with the bullshit because it's what? Publicity. It's marketing. It's genius. I love this episode because they brought back old characters. Not just Lawrence. You had Chad. You had thugged out dude. I can't think of his name at the beginning. Like, this show is my favorite, and it was hilarious. Like, this show was girls trip funny. Like, Natasha Rothwell needs to be in Girls Trip too. Like, they need to either add her as a writer or she needs to somehow be a part of that crew in some way because her comedic timing is everything. She was absolutely hilarious in this episode. Like, I was in stitches crying at all of the shit that happened. And what I also loved about this episode is they pack so much in the 30 minutes. That's what I was used to with the other seasons. This season, the first 5 episodes were very, very slow. Like, they were kind of taking their time and it was a different kind of flow. This episode reminded you of, like, this is why I fucking like Insecure, because you got all this shit actively going on. So good. My favorite. I'm so excited. The next 3 episodes are going to be lit because y'all done changed the whole shit up. Lawrence is back. She got Nathan now. Like, shit's about to go down. And I am so excited to be alive right now and to be a part of this movement and to just, I love this goddamn show. I am so excited for next week. And that's all I'll say. But if you're not watching Insecure, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Something else that came on Sunday. Sunday was a busy day in entertainment. You had the season finale of Power, which was okay. You had Insecure, you have Ballers, you had The Deuce, you had Black Girls Rock. Like, it was just nonstop. Married to Medicine. It was nonstop television. I had to catch up on Monday. And I was just like, shit, like, so much television. But whatever. So another show that came on was Rail, which is Little Rail, who's been on everything, including Insecure and The Carmichael Show and Get Out. You know him if you saw him. I had to check the show out because, number one, I was excited because Jess Hilarious of IG fame is a main character on the show. She plays one of his friends. So I was like, let me check the show out. So I watched it on Monday on Hulu, and it's a cute show. It's a cute show. I think they still have to adjust because, you know what, pilots, characters are new. They have to really kind of get into themselves and really kind of figure it out. And so I just chalked it up to that. It's funny. Like, there's definitely funny aspects to it, but they do have to work out some kinks. You know, they have to get comfortable with it. I saw somebody say that it's like a Martin in this day and age. Maybe I'm just old or something, but y'all ain't about to just give that honor out. I'm sorry. Martin was an amazing show. Like, you're not about to just give that honor out immediately. Now, I'm here for it being a Black comedy. I'm here for him playing other characters. But y'all ain't about to just go ahead and start giving out. Y'all love to be like, oh, it's like no, it's not yet. Not yet. We ain't there yet. But it is funny. It's cute. I really enjoy Just Hilarious. DC Young Fly is on there, and I think it has potential to be a really, really good show, but they have to get those pilot kinks out. But I thought that was really, really good. I just wanted to speak on that. So in darker news, I didn't even plan it this way, but that's the way my list works. So shout out to me. Serena Williams, you guys probably have heard this story ad nauseum, but I just wanted to first of all, Serena is the GOAT. And she's not even the best female athlete. She's the best athlete. I'm not even about to daughter her like that. She's the best athlete. Like, this woman has broken so many records. She has beat all of her opponents. And the only thing that are against her are racist ass white people who don't want to see her win and look for ways to tear her down. And we got an example of that on over the weekend, because I don't remember exactly what day it was. I won't go too much into what happened, but, you know, she was fined $17,000, which is like a drop in the bucket for her. And that comes out of the money that she gets from playing, which is like, I think, in the millions or something like that. So she gets fined, but she was fined for calling out the chair umpire who tried to say she was cheating when she wasn't. And she called him a thief. And so he fined her for that. And then she broke her racket and she got fined for that as well. Now, and she made a good point. She was like, men do this shit all the time. Because I'm a woman, you thought you were punishing me. And on top of that, I'm a Black woman, so you're really, really mad. So Serena has been getting treatment like this since she was a young girl. So she's very much used to the shit, but I love that she is not afraid of anybody and she's gonna always speak up for herself. I also love that right after that shit was over, she went right the fuck home and hopped on live with her baby and was like, this is what's important. She knows what's important. Like, she's good. But she's always an example of just how fucking racist people are. Like, she is at the top of her fucking game. And the shout out to the girl. I don't want to disrespect the other winner of. In fact, let me do this right. Let me do this right, because I want to be respectful. So let me just pull this up. So here we go. Naomi Osaka ended up winning. But she won, I believe, because of all that happened during the game. Serena could have easily knocked that out, but I don't want to play her because she's also Japanese and Black. And so, you know, it's still a win. It's still a win. And also, her dream was to face Serena Williams. So that's great that she was able to face Serena Williams and also win. It just sucks that her win is clouded by all this negativity of what happened, and it was beyond her. But shout out to Naomi Osaka. A great feat, but it was also kind of set up that way. So it's one of those things where it's just like, it is what it is, but, you know, that's wonderful. Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. But ultimately what kills me the most was Days later, a cartoonist by the name of Night Cartoons drew this racist ass caricature of Serena looking like nearly like a animal. Like they had her looking very obese. They had her like with really big features, hopping up in the air, throwing a temper tantrum, and there's like a broken racket. And then in the distance, you see Naomi Osaka, but they posture her like this thin white woman. And she's not a white woman. She's black and Japanese. So what the fuck? And so it was just a stupid racist ass cartoon. And what kills me the most is bigots and racists are sitting here acting like black people are just being sensitive. It's just they all look like this and this is all they do. And it's just like, y'all motherfuckers are just so dense. And it's just like, I'm just motherfucking tired, y'all. Like, to be conscious and black in America is to be in a rage most of the time. That is not verbatim the James Baldwin quote, but it's close enough. And nah, man. Like, fuck. Like, don't y'all get tired? Don't y'all fucking get tired. Like, just stupid shit. Like, especially if it's a black person who's winning. Nah, man. But shout out to Serena for still being the GOAT, still killing the game, still out here being a mother, being a wife, just murdering everything. Like, shout out to you still getting endorsements and doing your damn thing. Fuck Night Cartoons. Fuck the chair umpire. Fuck all y'all motherfuckers who try to take this woman down. And there's no signs of her. You will never take her down. Ever. Why? Because she has good mental motherfucking fortitude. And you can't beat that shit. And finally, on my list of things to discuss, and no, it's not what y'all think. I'm not talking about that, and you know exactly what it is. But last week, Mac Miller died at age 26 of a apparent and alleged drug overdose. Very sad story to hear. Mental health is so important, and you can't. There's no way to drive that home any more than when you hear stories like this. There's no amount of money or fame that can save you from depression and addiction. Like, so this is another sad story, another sad, unfortunate story. But neither the sorry. What kills me the most about this is why must people even bring Ariana Grande into this? She and this man, may he rest in peace, broke up quite some time ago. She is now engaged to another man, and she's just trying to live her life. On top of that, and okay, let me explain. People online were trolling Ariana Grande, blaming her for Mac Miller's death. That is the most sexist, misogynistic, idiotic shit anyone could say or do. It's so fucking disrespectful to this woman. And she's been through enough, y'all. Y'all don't understand. Like, Ariana Grande is literally just trying to live her dream. She's just trying to sing, and she's just trying to live her best fucking life and be in love. And she keeps ending up in these scandals and these things that are like beyond her control. Like, she got heat when she broke up with Big Sean, and there was that whole thing with him and Janae. Then there was the Manchester situation with the bombing. Had to overcome that. Then just recently at the Aretha Franklin funeral, the whole groping situation, had to overcome that, and you know, whatever. And now this, like, y'all need to let Ariana just live. Like, she deserves to be able to just live without there always being something. But to stoop so low to blame someone for the death of someone else. And this is not to lack empathy or sympathy, because I know there's a family that's hurting right now, and there's people who miss him and who are hurting, and not even putting blame on him. But the onus of one's mental health And drug use should not be placed on another person, especially if that person has left. Relationships happen every day. But the best part about relationships are when they no longer are serving us in a positive way, or if they're toxic or if they're negative, you can cease. You can end them. Ariana Grande left that relationship. She had no way of predicting that this man would overdose and die months later. She had no way of knowing, what was to come. And even if she did, to say it was her responsibility to stay in something that was obviously unhealthy is idiotic. It's absolutely idiotic. Like, I don't understand why people would even fix their mouths to say something so stupid. Like, it's absolutely dumb. Like, absolutely dumb. But here's the thing. The only reason people are doing this is because she's famous and they have a name and they have someone that they can blame. It reminds me of the Brandy accident. Brandy wasn't even the person who hit the woman in that accident. She was like the third or fourth car. But because she was famous, she all of a sudden was the one who couldn't drive and a killer and all this stuff. And I'm like, how unfair? Like, because you're the famous one, so you have to be at fault. And I hate that we will remove all logic for the sake to serve a stupid ass narrative and something that you guys want to make a fucking joke. There's nothing funny about people dying. There's nothing funny about it. But you got to make a joke out of it and make light of it. But it's not nothing to make light of, especially when it doesn't even live in a logical ass place. So, I don't know. All I'm going to say is this. Rest in peace to Mac Miller. Positive vibes to his family and friends. And y'all leave Ariana Grande alone. Let this girl live her life. Let her enjoy her new love and let her go on. Like, y'all gotta stop trying to blame women for the most trivial ass things. Cause it's stupid, yo. It's so fucking stupid. But that's enough for what's going on in pop culture and shit like that. But I do wanna talk a little bit about a conversation I was having. Most of my topics always happen from conversations I have with other people because I think it's important. I think it's important to always be talking and always giving your perspective and also hearing other people's perspectives because you get to really kind of figure things out. So I was speaking to someone about dating and self-awareness and self-love and self-care and my stance. Now, those of you who listen to the show, y'all know that I talk about being single and I talk about, how I prefer it because there's so many things to unpack and handle and I just don't really have the patience to unpack other people's shit. But then I also want to take it to another level and talk about how self-awareness is a big key in that. I really feel like it serves no one and it's dangerous when you aren't self-aware of you. There are people who never, ever, ever take inventory of themselves. Therefore, they never really even know who they are. And these people inflict and project their pain onto other people. And it's unknowingly. They don't even know. They don't even know because they've never actually taken inventory. I've told this story before, but my journey of self-reflection and my journey of learning myself started honestly in 2011. It was after a breakup that I had, and it really kind of it took me down. Like I was like depressed over that nigga, like real talk. And it had me in this weird ass cloudy space. Like at that time I was teaching karate to kids. And I remember we had just broken up, and I remember I was teaching a class, and I don't know what it was. I had a thought about this nigga, and I had to excuse myself, go to the restroom because I just was crying. And I had to clean myself up, get together, and get my ass back out there and finish that class. But I remember that shit took me like low as fuck. But then it was also around that time that I was kicking it with Christina. Hey, Christina. And we was just chilling. And she was just like, hey, you ever thought about like self-esteem and shit like that? And that's when I started looking into like books and shit about self-esteem. And that's when I began this kind of journey of self-awareness. I talked about this before. It was a workbook. I did the workbook, and I realized that I did have like low self-esteem, and I had like insecurities and shit. But then that shit helped me start. Oh my God, I can't talk. That helped me start taking inventory of myself, my mental health, and where I was. So I started working on my self-esteem. I started like paying attention to what I was doing. But then after that, I went on this whole self-help journey. I was reading everything by Ayanla. I was picking up any book that had to do with mental health, that had to do with being on a journey and learning yourself. I was picking it up and I was reading it. I'm talking about the 4 agreements, the love languages. Like I loved all of that shit, and I still do to this day. But that put me in a place where I started looking at myself in the mirror. It stopped being about everybody else. It stopped being about what's wrong with these niggas. Why can't these niggas act right? Although I still say that, and I do think there's something wrong with these niggas, and I do think that these niggas don't act right. I do take inventory of what I am giving too, though, and that's the difference. But that put me on this journey of self-reflection and awareness, and I never stopped. I'm always actively looking at myself, taking my current perspective and my current views and auditing them. I'm always saying like, okay, does this thought still work? Does this view still benefit? Can this be changed? I'm always looking for flaws in myself that need to be adjusted, because we should always be evolving. You should not stay the same year after year. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You need to always be growing, because life has a really good way of making you think you know what the fuck you're doing, and making you think you know what's going on, and then something will happen that will knock you the fuck out, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I don't know shit. I don't get this at all. But that's okay, because it means you're still growing. Nobody knows it all. And if you think you do, then you've given up on knowledge, boo. It's important to be self-aware. So I say all of that to say this. I was telling my friend, for me to be on this journey since 2011 and always actively correcting myself and always actively looking at myself and saying, what is my responsibility in this? What am I doing? What am I projecting? What can I work on? Always doing this. It is nearly impossible, and I mean this, it's nearly impossible for me to date someone who hasn't even started. It is impossible for me to even take someone serious who doesn't even know a little bit about themselves, or they don't even care to. They don't know their triggers. They don't care about their own insecurities. They don't know about their own shit. Like they haven't even started the journey. That's what makes dating hard for me. Because if you don't know yourself, you're not helping anybody. If you haven't started working on your own triggers and traumas and baggage and shit, you're not helping anybody. You're actually slowing down the process, and you're causing more strife than needed. And I feel like at a certain age, you got to start looking yourself in the mirror. And I'm not talking about just, to see if you got some shit in your eyes or your nose. No, looking yourself in the mirror and going through to your soul and saying, okay, what do I need to confront now within me? Because guess what? It's not always everybody else. Sometimes it's the fuck you. Yep, it's the fuck you. It's you, bitch. It's you, nigga. It's you. You are the common denominator of all your interactions. And if you constantly think that everybody ain't shit, chances are there's something in you that just ain't shit. And it needs to be confronted. Like, and this is not, and I hope it doesn't come across as me, because I'm definitely not, it's not judgy, it's not better than, it's not that at all. I'm just trying to provide some real shit to you. I'm trying to provide a perspective that you gotta look at yourself. I do it all the time. Like, I'm constantly telling y'all my flaws. I'm selfish as fuck. I can be moody. I can be nonchalant. And I know these things. I know these about me. But guess what I also am? I'm also honest. I'm also direct about what it is that I need and want. I don't hide my affinity for dick, my sexual liberation, whatever, my wholeness. I don't hide that shit. Like, I'm authentic, but it's because I know who the fuck I am in this moment. Because like I said, it can change at any moment. Like, it can literally change. I can wake up tomorrow and say, everything I said yesterday is a wrap. But I think that's beautiful. I think that's wonderful. I love that life does that to us, because you should never just be so comfortable that you feel like you can't continue evolving. Shit happens all the time and you're going to evolve. But you serve no one. You don't help anyone. And you're actually hurting yourself when you don't even know who the fuck you are, when you're not self-aware. If you're not aware of what you give, you're not aware of how you're perceived. It's important. It's important for you to spend that time alone. It's important for you to be single and not be hopping in things. It's important for you to unpack your pains and hurts from your childhood. It's important for you to really look into why that last relationship didn't work out and your responsibility in it. So you can make adjustments, learn the lesson, and do better. Every relationship you have, with whether it be with friends, family, lovers, should be a level up. Meaning, you shouldn't be doing the same shit from the failed friendship, relationship, or whatever before. Like, you should be learning. It's like, oh, okay. It's the same reason why they always say that you can be with somebody and you can nag them because they're not doing what the fuck you want them to do. And then as soon as they get in something else, they do all of those things. Well, that was a level up. Either you left them or they left you, but either way, they learned the lesson and they took the new shit into the new relationship, because you don't want to bring the old shit. If somebody's complaining about what you're doing and you break up, why would I continue doing that to somebody else? Now, there's some people who don't learn the lesson and they just have hellish ass relationships, and it is what it is. But at a certain point, you got to grow up and you got to evolve and you got to keep moving. But everything should be a level up. But the level up only happens when you're fucking aware of what it is that you are bringing to the table and the things that you're actually fucking up. And it's important. Learn yourself, journal, go to therapy, stare yourself in the mirror, confront your negative ass traits. Don't be so comfortable with your negative ass traits to the point you feel like you can't even adjust or do anything, all because you just feel like this is just who I am. That's cute. That's really cute. But you can do something about it. If you want to advance to the next level, you will do something about it, or you'll learn how to manage it in a way where it's not putting other people off, or pushing other people away, because we commonly do that because of our pride and our egos. But yeah, like, be aware of your shit, y'all. That's really it. Be aware of your shit. Be actively aware, because another thing that drives me crazy are when people are aware of their negative behaviors, but they don't do shit about it. That doesn't help anybody either. Get your shit together. If you know you're jealous, work on that shit. If you know you're insecure, work on that shit. Like, don't just sit there and just continue doing the same shit and ruining every fucking interaction you have, especially if you're aware of it. Like, nah. Nope, don't do it. Be actively aware, work on that shit, level up, live a better life. That's all I got. Thank you all for listening to the show. Please share this episode with one other friend. Tag me when you share it. Please share your favorite quotes from the show using the hashtag The Outline Podcast. Also, send your questions for advice or whatever. You can send those to the outlinetopics@gmail.com. You can comment under the podcast. You can send me a tweet, a DM, whatever. If it's a good question, I will answer it on the show. And that's all, you guys. Have a great week, and I will talk to you all next time. Peace out.